Welcome back to Coffee Talk. Grab your coffee. Join us for our talk today. We're Keith and Terry, and we talk all things retirement, talk about aging, traveling. We've got a lot of new subscribers here recently. So, just to tell you a little bit about us, we retired in April of 2020, and we decided we were going to do a YouTube channel because we want to document everything that we do in our retirement so that our grandchildren will have that they can look back on in the future. We do these coffee talks once a week, and if there's a subject you would like for us to talk about, let us know in the comments. Today we're going to talk about what kind of legal documents do we need to have in place.
So the first document that you'll definitely need is a will.
And especially if you have children. Now, this is not for when you're aging. This is when you're young with children. Because if you and your spouse would pass away, then the children, if you don't have a will and you don't have it stated who's going to take care of those children, the children become wards of the state. And you don't want that.
No.
You want to be able to say who is going to care for your children. So we had a will when we were younger, and it specified who was going to get each of our children and who was going to raise them in the event that we passed away at the same time. So that's really important to have in place.
That's something nobody really wants to think of, but it's something you really definitely need.
And so we redid it after our children grew up and became adults. Then we redid our will because there was no need for that. But our situation is a bit different than a lot of people because we have an adult son who we care for. He had a birth injury where he had brain damage during the birth process. So he lives with us. He's 48. And so because of that, we have to have other things in our will that a lot of people don't have to have. In the event of Keith going first, then everything would come to me. If I would pass away first, then everything would go to Keith. But in the event of both of us going at the same time, which is, like I said, you don't want to think about it, but you never know. We have several things in place. All of our assets would be divided. We have 3 sons, so it would be divided 3 ways. However, because we have a special needs son, we had to include in our will what they call a special needs trust. Because if we passed away and all of our assets went directly to him, divided up, and
Three ways.
Then he would lose his benefits that he gets to live on. And so with that's much needed. So we have to have a special needs trust. Our assets would be divided 3 ways, 2 of our sons, and then the third, his portion, would be put into this special needs trust. And say they don't count that as assets. We also had to name the person that we wanted to be responsible to oversee those funds. And so we did that. We didn't want it to be our other 2 sons. So there's a person that we've designated with a backup in case they couldn't do it. That's something that you need to state out in your will. Who, in the event of both of your deaths, who gets your assets. And so, like I said, we have to have the special needs trust included in our will. The second thing that you need to have in place is power of attorneys. Now, I am Keith's power of attorney. He is my power of attorney. In case he would become incapacitated, can't make decisions, then I can step in and do that, and him the same for me. We also decided, like I said, we have a special needs son. A lot of people file for guardianship of their special needs children when they become adults. Because the way the laws are and everything today, if you don't have some type of legal document in place, Healthcare people won't talk to you. Nobody will talk
Yeah.
to you because they are an adult. So he doesn't get that much independence on his own. So we didn't want to take away that from him because we wanted him to participate in his care and in his decisions. So what we did is we are his power of attorney. I'm his power of attorney. Keith is his power of attorney. And the power of attorney can do the same thing as a guardian. You're there to help make those decisions. People will talk to you because you have a legal document saying that they can.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also put into our will, in the event, like if Keith passed away, then I would still be his power of attorney. If I passed away, Keith would still be the power of attorney. But you have to look at all the angles. What if something happened to the two of us? Mm-hmm. Then what? Well, we named our youngest son, who lives local, to be his power of attorney upon our death. That way we know that's covered and we won't have to worry about what happens to him. That will automatically go to our son, and it's stated in our will. And one thing to know about power of attorneys is they're only good as long as the person is alive. Yeah. Once that person passes away, then the power of attorney is no good. Mm-hmm. But power of attorneys are something that you really need to have in place. Like I said, we are each other's financial and healthcare power of attorneys. That way we can step in, make decisions if need be. Another thing to consider is, in order to avoid probate, which even if you have a will, things have to go into probate, which can take months, sometimes years, to go through all the red tape. So one thing you can do to help your family is, and we have not done this yet, it is on our list of things to do. On all of our bank accounts, we're going to add our son's name, the one who lives local, because it's more handy for him. So we're going to add his name onto our accounts. Now, what does that do? Well, in the event of both of us passing away, he can go right to the bank. He can write checks to pay bills that need to be paid. He can take care of any business because he will have access to those funds. With his name on our account, that gives him access because they're his funds too. So there would be no delay. If we didn't do that and we both passed away, all of our bank accounts would be frozen and would have to go through probate. And then
takes months or years.
Yes. And so it's just such a headache for the family. So like I said, we haven't got that piece of it done yet, but it is on our list of things to do. And it's very simple to do. Just go into the bank and you need all their information and stuff. So those are some things to think about and some legal documents that you need to have in place. And nobody likes to think about this stuff. Nobody likes to plan for this stuff. But it's something that is necessary. Now I'm going to show you how we store our stuff.
These are things that most people realize or agree upon. They need them, but they put it off and put it off. And then something happens and they can't get it. And it's been too late. Something happens to both of them. And then the family, is just really a lot of stress to go through probate and getting, of course, in our case, we could have electricity being shut off, everything being shut down. And it's just something that most people know they should, but they just keep on putting off. Like us, we have to make sure that we get our son's name on our account so that if something would happen to both of us, that he can come in immediately and start paying bills to keep the electric on, to keep the internet if someone comes in, just stuff like that.
Right. And so we have this big binder, and it's called an estate planning binder. And inside this binder, it's got tabs on the inside telling what all is in here. We have a certificate of trust. We ended up putting our home in a trust. That way, upon our death, our home, which is our biggest asset, will not go into probate because it's in a trust and our children are named as the trustees. So it's in a living trust. Let's see, we have everything in here, our personal property, our living wills. Those are also documents you need to have in place. Your living will or advance directive. If you would become brain dead, what do you want your life extended by artificial means for an unlimited period of time, or do you just want to die a natural death? These are things that if you have those in place, it helps your family so much because they know your wishes. This is what they wanted, so it takes the guilt off of just pull the plug. You can say, hey, they stated they don't want to be left alive like that. This is what they wanted. And so that takes that burden off of them and puts it back on to you because you're the one that
everything's
made that
cut
decision.
and dry.
Yes. So you need living wills and you need an advance directive, which gives a little more direction to how you want to be cared for.
We want as much less stress or guilt factors to go in if something ever happens, that whatever it may be, that they can look right here in the book and say this is what their wishes are. To be no stress, no guilt. If we say we want you to pull the plug in here, they can pull the plug and not have no guilt.
And everything is lined out in here. Like our family would pick this up and it has everything in here. My will, Keith's will, all of our power of attorneys, all of our living wills, our advance directives, the special needs trust, it's all here.
And our assets.
And so they wouldn't have to go looking through boxes and I don't know what my parents have and I don't know where it is, and it's all right here. So that would be something to think about. And like I said, nobody wants to talk about this stuff, but it is necessary because it will help your family out tremendously upon your death. And we have said for quite a while that we were going to talk about this because I know some of the people that watch our channel, they also have special needs children. And we never thought about it when he was younger of what are we going to do when he turns 18? I mean, it's something as a parent you just don't think about because normally kids grow up, they're out of the house, they're on their own. But in the situation of ours, he needs help making major decisions. He needs help living life on a daily basis. And so we had to put in place in our will special things to take care of this. And if a third of our assets are put into that special needs trust, he gets the same inheritance our other two children, but the trustee over that will help him make the decision of how that money is to be spent and to help him with that. And it doesn't take away the benefits that he has.
He would lose all his benefits.
And he would have no health care. He would have no income. So all of these things are very important. So we just wanted to talk about it today. Like I said, it's no fun to talk about, but it is important to talk about. And those of you out there who have special needs children, I was kind of mad whenever we first learned, what? I need to get guardianship of the child that I gave birth to and we've been caring for his whole entire life. But everything is not easy these days. Everything you have to have legal documents for. And like I said, he doesn't have a lot of freedom, and we didn't want to take that freedom away from him. So he is an emancipated adult, but we have power of attorney. So we can help him make those big life care decisions and step in and talk to healthcare professionals and all of that on his behalf as his power of attorney. So those are just very important documents to have. And if your special needs child can't make any decision on their own, it depends on their mental capacities and all. You may want to go for guardianship. Guardianship is very expensive. It was, when we looked into it, which was years ago, it was like $1,200.
A lot of money.
To file for guardianship of your own child, which we thought was crazy. But it is necessary in some cases. And so you know your situation. Just make the best with what you have. But this is just important stuff that we need to talk about. We appreciate you joining us today for our coffee talk. If you have a subject you would like for us to talk about, let us know in the comments. We'll see you next time on Retired and Loving It. If you'd like to see more of our videos, click the video that just popped up on your screen